Hi guys. King Street, could you verify whether or not I'm 1080 or not? I'm still setting up too, but gotta run outside to grab something real quick. I'm supposed to be 1080. I don't know if I am or not. If not, we'll have to restart. Yep. That should be. Hi guys. I'll be right with you. Oh, yeah, I am. It's amazing. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I'll be right back. Ringing. Yeah, see, lock and key. What year model? No, ma'am, you just called about that. No, ma'am, we did not. Thank you. Dinner. Alrighty, y'all. Let us wait. Where am I? What is up? Hey, everybody. I'm gonna catch up on chat real quick and make sure all my levels are good. I think we are. How is everybody doing this fine Saturday morning for me, anyway? And let's see. Hey, Rune is eating dinner right now. It's not Saturday morning for him. But King Street, Bart, Ian, Night Owl, Ryan, Torch, Tyler, good morning. Wes, how are you doing? GK Man, what's up? And Terry, good morning. Chuck and Daz, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon or good evening, whatever the case may be. In the case of Don's Locks, who may not be with us because it's like 3 o'clock or something crazy over there. But, oh, he is there. Hey. Oh, no. So, it's like, what, 3 a.m. over there, I think you said? Yeah. I had just enough time to run and get coffee. Not when I was, not earlier, but earlier. Oh, I need to change my top chat to live chat. All messages are visible. Okay, there we go. Is that right? I think that's right. Okay. I see. I didn't even know that button was there. That's what that little down arrow means. Alrighty. Good morning, Pryor and Ghost. Y'all are getting warmth? Yeah, we are getting warmth. It's kind of rainy today. It's been raining for the past couple of days, but it is warm. Short sleeve shirt. Almost shorts. I got some new shorts for the summer. So we'll be wearing those as soon as I can. Got position. I got to get positioned correctly for what I've got planned for our broadcast today. Yes, I did change it. 5 p.m. Yeah, I knew over in the UK zone that it was around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. I think Don's is the only one that's way ahead of us in the future. Future man. Isn't there a song? I don't know. All right, so let us see what is going on today, what's been going on this week. I started a couple of projects to try to initiate into this live video, and I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm not great with my transitioning yet, but we do have a couple of topics that we're going to go over. I just got to figure out which way I want to go with it first. 2 a.m. Oh, daylight savings time. Somebody the other day posted a comment, like they said they just had daylight savings. Did y'all's, what? Does y'all's different than ours? I thought everybody's was the same. Noob as far as international things like that. But yeah, like a week ago, somebody said it just changed, but for us, it changed like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Chuck. I may have repeated a name or not. Let's see. All right, let's minimize this so I can get to what I was doing. And so, yes, I've got a couple of topics that we'll go over kind of randomly throughout the live chat. Kind of stretch them out because come to find out, it's not too easy. And I want to backtrack a little bit. Last week, this is one of the things I was going to talk about. I actually don't have anything prepped for it. But last week, it had come to lockpicking patrolman's attention, and he brought it to everybody else's attention, that they pulled the live streaming from your phone if you don't have 1,000 or more subscribers. I don't know if that was announced a while ago, and maybe it wasn't talked about enough for everybody to realize it was coming, or if they sprung that on us. I don't know the cases, but of course it's easiest to go live from the phone. And in my other videos I've talked about doing this. I actually had started the broadcast software before that because I wanted to be able to do what we're going to do more and more in the videos, but making content, it's kind of cramping my my weekly video thing as far as building content for the channel. So I'm trying to find a happy medium there. Long story short, for those of you who cannot go live because you don't have 1,000 subscribers, you still can do it through your through a broadcast software. I downloaded Open Broadcasting Software, OBS, which is, you know, free and the most common. Long story short, if you are wanting to go live on your YouTube channel, that's what you have to do. But I know a lot of you guys like are pointing this way, so you literally can't point like a webcam. If you have a laptop, you can't point a laptop webcam at, you know, what you're doing in your hands, which is why, and I don't use my webcam because it sucks, which is why I tied the phone into it. So long story short, if you have an iPhone, if you have a laptop, you can still live stream, but for my iPhone, I had to pay a $15 app fee to be able to do this. And I talked about wanting to use multiple cameras so that I could say, if we wanted to talk about this, instead of me having to lift the camera up and move it physically. My USB situation, my port situation is not, apparently it bogs down your USB and I get an overload and it's just messy. Long story short, you can use a remote camera, and this may only apply to iPhones, but you can download the OBS software if you want to live stream if you don't have 1,000 subscribers. It's just going to be a little awkward, and it does take a little tweaking and computer learning if you're not overly familiar with computer resolution, frame rate, and bit rate, and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of crazy. The U.S. changed. Thank you, Night Owl. I did not know that. We changed, so we're out of sync with the rest of the U.S. is out of sync with the rest of the world? Shocker. Shocker. A week ago. See, I was wondering, so whoever posted that comment must be over in Australia too. Yeah, I think U.S. should be the same as Canada. Yeah, I mean, that'd be crazy. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Hey, Lockpicking Patrolman, you're supposed to be working, aren't you? I won't tell anybody. Nobody tell on LPP. Hey, Pete, good morning. Of course, okay, Night Owl busting out with some knowledge on time zone differences there, but I'm not even going to get in the middle of that. Let's go ahead and get started with some of my funny local news, and we're going to, one day I'll be able to pop up funny local news right here, you know. And so I'm not quite there yet, but so the first thing I want to talk about is potatoes, and that's what I crazily titled this live stream, is potatoes. And that is because We have a very quirky area, Fondren and Belhaven. Fondren is obviously y'all seen my videos around this area, but we also have the neighborhood over here. Very quirky. You know, there's people. It's not like your typical same style house. Like everybody's house is differently built, and like there may have been if a street has 10 houses on it. Back when they were built, there was 10 different contractors at various times. So they're just very quirky. It's not like your regular neighborhood style that you see. So anyway, long story short, somebody came out 2 or 3 days ago, and this made national news, but you know, gotta have news, right? So somebody came out and found a bowl of mashed potatoes in a little styrofoam bowl with little chives, it looks like, on it, and it was just sitting there on the mailbox, and they were like, okay, this is weird, but it is Belhaven, so maybe not that weird. And I've talked about next door. So Fondren and Belhaven, even though they're two separate neighborhoods, next door connects all our neighborhoods together, so we can see what they post if they allow it on their post. So it was like, so there you go. Woke up to mashed potatoes on my doorstep. Wait, this is an entirely different person. This mashed potatoes is on their mailbox. This is an entirely different person. So somebody was like, hey, yeah, I woke up and there was some mashed potatoes on my doorstep, and so everybody was like, weird. And then apparently this guy at some point joined in. I may have missed it. He may have posted directly to Belhaven, so we wouldn't have been able to see it. But somebody else, there's a bowl of mashed potatoes sitting on my car when I went out to work this morning. And everybody's like, yeah, that's really, really weird, because there's another person on the porch. So apparently there's a mashed potato dropper offer crazy person. He mashed potato bombed at least 5 or 6 houses that has been shown up, and some people were like, yeah, okay, number one, who's gonna eat it? That'd be crazy. Number two, is were they trying to poison animals? Well, I guess somebody decided to either try to find out or allow it to happen, or maybe it accidentally happened, but that kind of irritated me. But yes, that is because who would do that to their pet? I just don't understand that. I gotta go back to chat here and catch up. Oh my god. Yeah, see, lock and key. I don't have anybody that can come out today. Yeah, and we don't do that year model either. Thanks. So that is the kind of a brief tale on mashed potato bandit. I know it's weird, bandit. They're not a bandit. They're like a Robin Hood. Like they saved mashed potatoes from getting thrown away and dispersed them to everybody. And no, you can't. No, that's bad. Even so, even if you cook mashed potatoes, it's gonna have butter. It's gonna have milk, which is not great for dogs. Dogs can't eat mashed potatoes. So, yes, that is. You can in limited quantities, like cheese. We give ours treats with cheese. But if the milk mashed potatoes is, unless you literally make it specifically for the dog with just potatoes. But if you make it like you would want to eat it, hey, where'd our picture go? There's our picture. So anyway, yes, that is the tale of the mashed potatoes thing. That was kind of interesting, and I don't know. I guess one day we'll find out what's going on with the mashed potatoes. So in other local news, it's kind of related to like, I guess, security. In a way, because it involves theft of an object, and which will lead us into thefts of more objects. Here in Jackson, it's okay. Let me back up a little bit. Right now, we should have over 500 police officers in Jackson. We have a little under 300. And Jackson, while it's not a huge city, it is a big spread out city, and they're separated into different precincts. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in 4. And then the 1, 2, South Jackson, other areas like that. And once you break that down to just patrol officers, you've only got like 10 or 12 patrol officers on a beat, because there's 3 beats, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. And long story short, we just don't have enough police because just don't pay them well and the crap they got to deal with. So that leads us into what are we going to lead this into? Let's go over here and take a look at this video. Now, I think that I've got this set right, but we're going to, this happened at a gas station in precinct 1 or 2, which is South Jackson, south of here. So, and then I'm going to pause and stop and start this because it is kind of funny. So here's a news clip.
Swept through the station Tuesday morning. Owner Ricky Singh says his employee called earlier that morning when they noticed the bins were gone.
Yeah, I was half sleeping and she woke me up and said that our garbage cans are missing. So I'm like, what are you talking about? It must be a joke or something.
Okay, so can you imagine getting a phone call at like 3 a.m.? Because most gas stations, people get there at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because they got to open at 5. You mean waking up at 3 a.m. with your employee saying, hey, they stole the garbage cans. What? They stole the garbage cans? That's crazy. Oh, I might have a customer coming in. Oop, nope, okay. All right, so.
The two men you see here on surveillance video drove up to the gas station, opened the trunk to this SUV, and began stashing the garbage cans in the back of the trunk.
I mean, it's pathetic that, you know, garbage cans, I mean, out of all the stuff, I mean, I don't understand why they have to take garbage cans. It was so funny.
Although he can laugh at it now, Singh is planning to replace the missing cans and this time chain them down. I spoke with customers at Raceway to see how they felt about all the odd events this week.
Garbage cans, police tires, who doing?
Yeah, okay. He mentioned police tires, and we're going to lead into that. But so how do you chain down a garbage can? You don't. You're going to have to build like a cage for it, I guess. Would be the only way to do it. So what type of bicycle chain would you use to chain down your garbage cans? And this guy was talking about police tires. We're going to lead into that too.
Like, they're making the city really look bad.
That's really petty for somebody to take garbage and, you know, they
swept through the station Tuesday morning.
So yeah, that what he was talking about now was this right here. We're going to go over, shift the camera just a little bit and talk about this. This is what he is referring to. This happened, and this also made national news. In fact, I think Night Owl saw it and tweeted or retweeted it. So, which way are we? And this, now believe it or not, this was outside the training academy where they actually train police officers. At least they were kind enough to leave it right there on the rocks, or put rocks under it, right? I mean, that's crazy. It's just stole them right off the police car. Oh man, I'm catching up with chat here just to see what's going on in case I missed something. But hey, Access, how's it going? We are currently talking about thefts around Jackson, and what a trashy story. Hey, good morning, lockpicking gals. So yeah, this is this one happened about 2 weeks ago. I was just like, wow. And I've got a lot of police or commander friends, and I don't know. This is an older card. Now they use the little sporty looking ones, and we actually are about to get SUVs, but yeah, this is the other side of it right here. So they got all 4 tires right there, you know, right in the spot. I can't tell what that sign says, but this was a running vehicle up until it got its tires stolen. And then about a week goes by, and downtown there is a fenced area where they keep patrol cars that are either being repaired or whatever the case is. And this happened a couple of days ago. Somebody caught this picture. Look at that. All 3. And I can't zoom in on that picture, but all 3 of those police cars had their tires stolen out of the lot. So somebody, some incredibly opportunistic person was able to grab this picture of all 3 tow trucks. And you can't, how does that even happen? What timing do you have to be able to grab all 3 in a row like a procession? I mean, that's just wonderful. It's crazy. So, yes, I guess the Jackson Police Department will have to invest in locking lug nuts, which you can just twist those off. But Man, they're stealing everything. Uh, Crown Vics were awesome. Uh, every one of my friend police officers who had to transition to the what are they Chargers or whatever, they hate them. And our streets super suck, and they tear up. The Crown Vics are tanks. Anybody who has ever either ridden in one or driven one or had one will tell you that the Crown Vics, you could do a lot of stuff with those. And then they shifted the Chargers, and they had problems sourcing parts. The parts were more expensive, and it was just a whole BS thing when they shifted to that. So, Night Owl says reminds me of New York and that Tyler NASCAR pit crew. Yeah, that took more than one guy right there to especially get over the fence and lift the tires over the fence. But it just happened at night, so nobody's, I guess, around there, so they never saw it. Yeah, I mean it would be probably, I'm guessing 3 guys did that. So still, it's crazy. And I mean this is a ongoing story. Also forgot to mention I'm really red in this camera, and I tried fixing that. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just, the camera filter is making it red, and it's because I'm having to broadcast through a certain software. I can't change my hue, so I don't know why I'm so red today. I'm mad. I'm mad about those police car tires. So yes, all right. It's just crazy that would happen. Let's see. Let's go back and let's go ahead and switch back to a different route. So that's all the local news I have. Mashed potatoes and stolen police car tires. What's been going on in y'all's town? Oh, got a customer coming in. Hold on. Hey. I'm back. I gotta make my chat bigger, y'all. I can't keep up with all the comments. Alrighty, what's up? What are we doing? What are we talking about? Yeah, the cops are Rune sounds like something from the Police Academy movies. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh man. Just trying to go back and check for questions because I was kind of bad at that last time. Padlocks first. Have you had any feedback on LSD? I don't listen to LSDA. I don't like LSDA padlocks at all. American. That's one LSDA product that I don't like is their padlocks because they rust up internally way too much. At least they did. The disc, yeah, same way with the disc locks. Oh, my nose itches. It's making me red, making me mad. Oh my goodness, y'all are talking about the secure parker. They should, well, and they assume it's secure. I'm not even going to get involved with. I, in a way, in a roundabout way, actually handle security, the main gate security, because they all have to come through us to get extra keys for the padlock. So there's no security in Jackson, unfortunately. Remember to smash that like button, like Wes just said. Oh, so let us carry on. Yes, this is a Toyota Echo. I don't know how to do that. I think you can do that with a reverb on a microphone. TR40 on a 2002 Echo. And he said this was the passenger door lock, but this actually, I was surprised that it used a TR40 key. So I'm actually going to just pop the spring off, pop the cap off, pull the core out, and decode it and clip it out, because I keep a Curtis clipper. I kept a Curtis clipper right there. There it is. And I just clipped the key out. No big deal. It would be less of a big deal if it had this stupid code on it. So I guess they didn't put them on these. Man. Oh, there it is. Hey! It's never on the cam. What's up with that? I guess because of this cam. Hey. I could almost do that right now. But I'm not, because we're doing something else. I told him to come back in a couple hours. American padlocks, yes, that is the way to go for it. So where were we? We talked about that. We talked about, let's go back to this. Okay, so let's start in on a segment that I had started at the beginning of the week. I was thinking I was actually going to attempt to do this on Friday, during my Friday videos that I have obviously suck at because I don't put as many out anymore. But this was going to be a little segment on the locks that we have lost this week. And my intent was to take clips every day of hardware that I've taken off houses to, number one, change keys, or if it was broken, any number of things. Whatever hardware I bring back in, I scrap, I recycle, I'll take parts off, I'll take cylinders out. Some cylinders go and give away, some are not worth it and just get scrapped, separated brass to metal, and stripped down as much as possible to get the most value out of the little bit of change that we make off of recycling here. Last time I went, it was 90 cents a pound for brass, and it's been 10 cents a pound for scrap iron. So unfortunately, you look at a lock like a Schlage doorknob, and you think, wow, that's 2 pounds of brass. It's not 2 pounds of brass, it's 2 pounds of scrap metal and maybe 3 ounces of real brass in there if you strip it down and take the knob off and take the plates off and all that. But I usually just throw the whole thing away, especially like Quickset, because it's just a skin. You literally have to peel the skin. It's just not worth it. So 10 cents a pound is it, short of the parts that you can get from those locks. So I'm gonna look at this real quick. Start. Okay, so we didn't change that. Let's go here and change this, and we will look at, here we go with the first ever episode of the locks we have lost this week. And it didn't go over as planned because literally Monday was the only day that I had a bunch of locks to replace. Everything else the rest of the week was mostly rekeying and cutting keys. So instead of it being several clips of several days of locks all combined down in one, it is simply one day. So you got to start somewhere, right? So here we go. No, did I do this right? Yes, I did that one right. The locks that we lost, at least at the beginning of the week. And people have wondered, some people who aren't locksmiths wonder what, why we have so many scrap locks. Well, it's because we take that type of stuff off doors. This is a Schlage knob. There's nothing wrong with it. However, it's antique brass, and they didn't like, and this was the deadbolt above it. Now I can't pause this video, but I've got plenty of these Schlage. Okay, now this is a Wiser or a privacy lock. I took one off of a bedroom to put a key lock on the bedroom. So I have one of those. It's literally no real good. Now this is a, let me get caught up here. This is that was a Wiser latch that had been forced a couple of times. Well, old Wiser, actually old Wiser latch, and it had been apparently like pushed in too much, and it caused it to the bolt to bend, and we can see when I throw it out how wonky it is. So it actually got replaced. I actually had a latch to replace it with, so I just switched the latch out. This was on a bar door that somebody punched through the screen, flipped it open, and got in the door. And then behind that door was this latch on a metal door, and it had been kicked in and had to replace the latch. But he bought sold him a double cylinder because it's a bar door. Sold him a double cylinder deadbolt for the bar door, and it was a storage room. It was like a warehouse. The only thing he kept in there was like stuff for his other area. So since there was a hole punched in the chain and somebody could just freely open the door, I switched it out with a double cylinder and took the latch from it and put on the metal door. And I see this a lot. It's a shame to see it, but residential locks on metal doors. SE lock and key. Good. Uh-huh. Our shop is open, but no matter, we don't have anybody that can come out to assist you with anything. Okay, thanks. Okay. I don't know what that was about, but it sounded very weird. Alright, yeah, F-Series. Oh, I'm going to keep that F-Series because it's actually still good. The B-Series is toast. I may keep the deadbolt thumb turn, but because I do have a guy that's kind of weird about his B160 thumb turns, and he breaks them all the time. Hey, good morning, Chef. But yes, commercial, that's the biggest irritant. You know, it's a real deal steel door, and I actually didn't even put the silly, my mouse, didn't even put the silly picture up like I was supposed to show you how it had been kicked in. I don't even know if I have that picture up, but it actually had bent the, what you call it, the prep, the metal prep. Where did my file go? Oh, there it is. The metal prep where the latch goes in, after they flip that door open, oh, there it is. Oh, I know why I couldn't do that. Shoot. My phone started saving saving pictures in a different format, and it doesn't work for this. So they actually had bent the metal where the latch goes in on the door in when they kicked it, and I had to take pliers and re-bend it out. And it was a relatively new door, and I was very disappointed to see how that was. But it was also just a deadbolt, a residential deadbolt on where the knob prep should be. So instead of having a knob and a deadbolt drilled above it, it was just a one-hole door, and they had just put a cheapy residential deadbolt on it. Long story short, don't use residential locks on commercial doors unless you really have to temporarily for something, but they're just not made for them at all. And that's what happens. I guess I don't know if he got broken into or not. And on the other lock front, let's see what else. Oh, so basically, yes, this is what happens. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, we're going to loop that one for a minute. See ya. And we can see over here that we already have a bunch of other scraps. Got to go. I've only got two or three containers there of scrap, and yeah, got to get down to the scrap yard because even those 2 or 3 little containers are taking up too much room in my window regulator. Speaking of window regulator, I was driving home last night. Well, let me back up. My starter cable acted up and wouldn't start the other night. And I guess it did something funny to my windshield wipers because on my way home last night it started pouring. And all of a sudden I discovered that my windshield wipers were, for some reason, decided not to work. So that was an interesting ride home. Luckily it was only a few minutes away, and I wanted to throw a rope over and do it, take a rope and put on each side. But this morning when I came in, they turned on fine. So I guess they just decided not to. I guess they were too tired to work last night. But in that scrap pile, I've got the window regulator. So it's taking up too much room. Got to get rid of it. And that leads us to one other little clip from the week. Please hold. SE lock and key. Hey. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm stuck in the shop till 4, so I wouldn't be able to get over there, but okay. Okay. Yeah, give me a call Monday morning and I'll come down there. Excuse Okay, thanks. Front door wouldn't open from one side, and there's a wedding today. Always happens, right? Okay, good night, Don. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. We're just going to wrap up with a couple more lock things and then laugh about something on Reddit. So one other clip that I got from the week, I just decided to throw this in here because I took the video clip of it and had no other use for it besides putting it on Twitter, but I didn't put it on Twitter. We're going to put it here. Can you guess what's wrong with this? Yeah. That's some quality install right there. And I say quality install because there's no extra holes in the door or the frame, so yeah, I don't think that door closer's on quite right. And I wasn't there to fix that, so I unfortunately just said farewell to it and left it happily closing like that. But I'm sure one day I'll have to go back and tend to it because the company that's there now is not gonna, they're moving out in 2 weeks, so they don't want to deal with it. So it's going to get passed on to the next person. But yes, I think that's a little off on your installation, guys. Good job, installers. And it may be, the closer may be flipped the wrong way too. I didn't, I don't know. That's just one of those things that you will always see is crap like that. So let's lead off into crap like that. This is an instance of, we'll go ahead and shift over to another focus here. You know when you walk up to a door and you get called out to replace a door lock, for instance, and you go and you're like, okay, I can get in and out of here. And then you go and you start to unscrew the screw for the latch to switch the latch out. And guess what they didn't do when they screwed the latch in? Anybody want to take a guess? What they didn't do when they installed the locksmith. Now, the person that installed this lock may or may not have been me, but I was fairly sure that I did it correctly. This may have been the first door, but I did not drill the pilot hole apparently either deep enough or the correct size, because when I went to take it off, guess what happened to the screws? Yes, they snapped off, and it may have been just a weak screw, or a really rough door, but this may have been, I don't know, I may have been in a hurry. This was like 4 years ago, and I may have been in a hurry. And obviously it's not like this. I got the top one out because it was really tight, and I was very worried about it, but I went to undo the bottom one, and yeah, snapped off. So what do you do in that instance? What do you do? What do you do? You can't drill into it because it's jagged, and it's horrible to deal with, because if you try to drill straight into it, the drill bit's gonna veer off and cut a hole. So what I did, if you look real close at that picture, and we'll minimize that picture and show you a little bit closer up view of it. I took my super tool saw, which luckily goes all the way to the end, and I cut that little notch, and I cut it down to the screw to be able to ease, because it was so tight on the screw, to try to ease it, to give it a little bit of a gap. And yeah, this is a special door too. You see the little ring right there? It's a fire door or whatever. You just don't have a choice sometimes. When screw breaks, it's better to have a little bitty slit going down like that. And yeah, so after I got that slit down, I was able to come in, and I kind of beat it up so that it just kind of wedged open a little bit, and I just took a linesman's pair of pliers and dealt with it a bit. Every time I grabbed the tip of the broken screw, it would clip the end of the screw and clip. I might have a customer coming in. I do have a customer coming in. Hold on.
Hello.
Hey.
Me again.
All right, I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Okay, guys, here we go. I'm just going to catch up on comments real quick. We are getting on up there in time. We're almost out of time. Oh, my gosh. Vice grips on that screw, Tyler. Yeah, I never did get. Let's go back to that because I never really did get done with it. I didn't want to. Basically, I didn't want to walk to get my vice grips. So we were talking about this broken screw, and yeah, I took my license pliers and I did that, and finally got it out. SE lock and key. Good. I don't have anybody that can come out today. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. Well, yeah, hurt me. Yeah, but I finally got it out with that, and I would have gone. I just didn't want to walk to get my vice grips. And yeah, it was no real big deal afterward. Just put it back in and good to go. So yeah, got to do what you got to do. Luckily, you got it out without having to drill because it could have been real messy. But yeah, it was just an example of a job that can turn to crap really quick when you're expecting it to. As Rune said, China, Taiwan, same thing. Some of those screws are horrible. Hey Fred, good morning. You are late, but Muzak. Y'all like my Muzak? You notice I've changed my Be Right Back screens and all that. I don't know if it's better or worse than last week's, but we'll just keep tweaking it until I like it. Needle nose vice grips. Yeah, I should have gone and got them. I used to have a Leatherman Crunch. I showed you my Leatherman a minute ago. Crunch is the vice grip version, and it was awesome because I always had it on my side. And I don't think Jason upsold the fancy keys. May have to send the lady that was just saying I was getting a, yeah, I tried FIC keys, and I was trying to sell her the rubber head instead, but she didn't want them. Let's see, Fred, somebody was having an issue. Pete losing feed. Pete's losing the feed. Oh no, that's horrible. I don't know, mine's saying excellent and everything, so I don't know what's going on. It says excellent connection, so sorry about that. No, I don't have any, Tyler. I do have a Wiser distributor in town, which is good because we have a lot of Wiser here, and I actually prefer using Wiser over Quickset. So since we have a Wiser distributor, now I'm buffering. Why is everybody buffering? Oh, see, I'm getting red because I'm so mad about that. I'm just joking. I don't know what's going on, guys. Milwaukee M12 electric screwdriver. I did in my last one. I talked about how I was not fond of my Milwaukee over my DeWalt, but it's a 18 and not a 12. Those 12s look pretty cool, but I decided not to go. Cutting it. Yes, King Street. I remember to turn the volume back on. Scanning back over these old comments. I know I missed some of them, but I've still got a little bit to go here. We're going to talk about this. I don't know about the 12 volt stuff, Nick. I just don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments has them. So yeah, maybe I'll refresh your connection. But where was I? We got to get back on track because I've only got 7-ish minutes left. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was Falcon mortise locks. Now that's not something that I see a whole lot around here, but I saw it the other day, and oh, puppies. Number one, who can tell me what's wrong with this picture? Or what's wrong with this lock? The very first thing. But what is it? I hope I'm still live with y'all. I guess I am. I guess some people are just having connection issues, but if somebody's there and has a wild guess as to what's wrong with this installation, go ahead and say now. And my delay is not set, so y'all should be able to see it. You see the height difference there? This really doesn't have anything to do specifically with the lock itself, but if we change that picture to kind of a down view looking at it, those are not drill bit marks. that is actually threads from them forcing the mortise cylinder in at an angle. Instead of, it went in like, because, yep, it wasn't stripped, it was off, too low, sitting too low in the hole, or the hole was drilled too high. I don't know if this was a factory prep. It does not look like a factory prep, so that hole is a little bit on the large size for one of those. But yeah, so I did that, and went ahead and took the lock out. And those of you who have seen my other video, if I can remember, I'll go back on this video and put the link up here in the corner where I did my tap video. And some people were like, why are you tapping a $10 narrow style glass lock? Well, that tap and die set from HPC does way more than just the narrow style glass doors. This is a brand new Falcon mortise lock, and I had to pull it all the way off the door and retap it. So there is another example of when it is a great idea to have that tap and die set, even though it's horribly expensive. And I charged $35 to do that, just to take it off the door and run the tap through it. Actually, I tried doing it on the door after I took a carbide bit and I ground out the lower on the picture back over here. I kind of ground out down just a little bit so that I could screw it all back in. But when I tried screwing it back in, I noticed the cylinder was cockeyed in the door. And as I was taking the Falcon mortise lock off, I noticed this. These are the spindle that goes through that your handles connect to. And I took it off, and I was like, now I don't know how long this design's been here, but this was the first Falcon new mortise lock that I've done in quite a while. And we see this weird spindle. It kind of reminds me of the old Baldwin spindles, but that is actually a very thin screw going through the interior side. So you would unscrew it, put the exterior in, the exterior side, put the interior in, and then screw the screw, which if you see you can't see my hand, but right at the separation, there's actually a retainer clip that holds that screw in. So on another point, what do you guys, now this is specific to this Falcon mortise lock. This is why I'm posting this, because this is the first time I've seen it. If you look really close at that screw, which we can here, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen to this mortise lock in T-minus 6 months, a year of heavy use? Yep, that little bitty tiny screw is going to snap. And guess what? You're going to need the whole spindle, because you can't go to the hardware store and get that stupid little screw. So, I don't know if it's going to be a common thing or not. Oh man, another customer may have just pulled up. I don't know. But yes, a little bitty tiny screw. Horrible design in my opinion. And like I said, I don't know if that's just been around for any length of time. Man, I forgot to put my no parking signs out. Or if this is new, but obviously I'm going to have to check with my distributor and go ahead and stock up on at least 1 or 2 to have on hand spindles, because if it breaks, and you're not going to be able to fix it. Nick's going back to his Milwaukee. $119 for, that's a pretty good deal for 2 batteries. I mean, batteries, considering they're at least $40, $50 each. Colombo locks used to have that piece of crap spindle. I knew it looked familiar. I've actually, the Valley in Colombo, I've actually got the old red and white. Well, now there's Colombo, and then there was Valley in Colombo, and then they had a you know, manufacturer boxing match, and I guess one turned to Valley and another turned to Colombo. But I've actually got Valley and Colombo, and yeah, horrible. I don't know what this picture is. Oh, and yet another thing, the screw holding the interior trim is, look, the design team, who gets paid for this crap? Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. Who gets paid for this crap? Let's not use a regular screw. Let's use a stupid screw with a shoulder head thing. Why, Falcon? There goes the mail lady. Why, Falcon? That just makes me so mad, and I'm red because of it. Things like that just piss me off. Why use stupid crap that you are going to have to source, never mind, directly from them when it breaks? Answer my own question, right? So that they can charge for replacement parts. So yes, that is, come on now. I mean, just using this kind of stuff for your stuff is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't know. I'm going to end this off, guys. If y'all are not members, because I totally forgot to, I got timed out with customers, but I don't know if you're part of Reddit locksmithing, Reddit r-locksmithing, but I wanted to briefly talk about it, and I actually did a pre-video on this, but we're going to talk about Chinsky. Real quick, old Chinsky on Reddit locksmithing. He's that locksmith that everybody loves to hate because he just speaks his mind about anything, and I secretly think that he participates in Fight Club at night. Now, of course, he couldn't talk about it because that's rule number one, but, you know, I think he's that. And before I got started with this video, I was going to do a little clip on him and do the Tyler Durden, you know, Fight Club thing. But, yeah, I think Chinsky, he says he watches my videos, and he has called me out on screwdrivers before. Love you, Chinsky. Don't flame me, please. Yes, old Chinsky on Reddit locksmithing. Crazy guy. He's one of those that you just don't know about that guy, but he seems to know his stuff, so he's just very angry. I'm angry right now. This would be Chinsky. I'm angry. I don't know why this camera makes me so red. It's like I'm sunburnt, but I'm not. Yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, guys, we're gonna finish this off, and I appreciate you guys joining in today over my stuff. If you have not, make sure and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, which most of you guys I know are subscribed, make sure and subscribe to the channel. But do make sure, and if you wouldn't mind, hit me with that like button or dislike or whatever. It doesn't matter, apparently. But yes, I covered all the topics that I wanted to go over today. And I'm going to do, just coming up, I'm going to be doing a cylinder spacer video this afternoon. So hopefully I'll get it released off, because nobody talks about cylinder spacers, right? I don't know. It's just another idea I had. And I had that idea because my cylinder spacer area in my van is horrible. So yes, that's what I'll be doing, I guess, next. But I appreciate all you guys and gals who are joining in or who are watching this later. Don't forget, you can always go back after it uploads. It takes about 30 minutes. If you joined in later on and you want to catch the first part of it, you can always wait about 30 or 40 minutes after we shut down the live and go check out the video part that you missed. But I appreciate all you guys watching. We are still planning on doing this every Saturday, so next Saturday I'm going to go ahead and start building some new content for Saturday Live 9. I don't know what's going to happen when I run out of fingers after 10. What are we going to do after 10? I don't know. Thanks again for watching, guys. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will catch you next video. Smash that thumbs up. Thanks again, y'all.